assume positive intent, be open, honest, and vulnerable, and use technology only when necessary, and focus on student learning.
So, because we don't have any admin here, we're gonna go ahead and dive into our DEI meeting. Was everybody able to bring a teacher exemplar?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for doing that. So, collecting the student work samples and bringing that teacher exemplar ahead of time just cuts down on things that we have to do in the meeting so that we can be more efficient while we're in PLC. So thank you, I really appreciate you doing that. So, today we're gonna dive into this TEEP. I've got it posted right up here, so if you wanna just read along with me, it's K10DIX. Correct spelling of words with grade appropriate orthographic patterns and rules and high frequency words. And I think that actually says the student will be able to use correct. So they're not correcting their spelling, but they're using correct spelling of words. So first, take a look at that TEEP. And I want you to take 1 minute and just reflect. You can take notes if you'd like to. In your own words, what should a student know or be able to do to show mastery of that teacher? So 1 minute. So let's go ahead and get some of your ideas on the chart paper. Donald's going to be our note taker. So let's start with what should students know to be able to master this?
Side words.
Okay. What do you mean by side words? Like,
High frequency
they need
words.
to know, like they need to know how to spell them?
They have to be able to use them in
Okay.
sentences.
Okay.
No letter names and sounds.
Letter names and sounds?
So funny because that sounds so, I skipped over that completely in my head. But
Sounds
yeah,
basic,
it
right?
sounds basic,
Yeah.
but that's what we're working with. Like
Right.
if we skip that, then they don't know how to do anything.
Right.
You know,
Foundation.
so,
Yes.
yeah, it's foundational.
Prerequisite.
They also
Yes.
need to know how to blend.
Yeah.
So not just knowing the letter names and sounds, but might not even able to like blend 2 letter sounds together.
So I would take it back and say they need a strong foundation of phonological order, because without that, it can't blend.
So keep in mind right now, we're just talking about what they need to know, and later we're gonna talk about what they need to be able to do.
Okay, this is gonna sound like really racist, but left to right is something.
Yeah. So they need to know that words are written from left to right. Are there any spelling patterns that they need to know? Anybody have that T pulled up?
CBC,
Uh-huh,
CBCC,
uh-huh.
and CCBC.
Yep, that's right, yep, that's what the T
So
is.
spelling pattern, CBC, CBCC, CC, and then CBC.
CCBC.
actually.
I did.
I did actually.
CVCC and CCBC and BC.
BC, yeah.
CCCC.
And then also just BC.
Oh, yeah,
True.
the very first one, DC.
DC. I'm more
But
of a
yeah, actually
Marvel.
CVCE is not a category.
Oh, good. Okay.
Helpful, but not
Which one?
CVCE is not a
Oh,
category.
it's not, okay.
I would also say that they need to know that some words can be sounded out and some words cannot.
Mhm.
True.
Anything else on the knowledge side? Say that again?
Oh, same, they're heart words,
Okay.
you have to know them by heart.
So like sight words, part words, high frequency, we could have a whole conversation about the
Just the
terminology and what that all means. Maybe that could be another DDI. Okay, what do they need to be able to do to show mastery of this speaker? Yeah, legibly, right?
Yeah, legible letter formation.
They need to be able to decode in order.
Encode?
Encode. That's what.
Encode, sorry.
Okay.
We know what you meant.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. So
Because
they
we
might
really
be able to-
decode and then.
Yeah,
encode. So I
exactly.
think it's multiple.
It's kinda one and the
They
same.
just be able to hear it and.
They have to be able to break it up and then,
So I would say decode.
and they have to be able to do it in
In
order.
order, right?
Yeah.
One more really simple, spacing.
Spacing,
Yes.
that's critical.
And general punctuation.
Appropriate use of capitalization. Cause I have ran capital letters all the time everywhere.
So that's a different T.
Oh, is it?
So yes, it is. It has its own T.
Oh,
For-
really?
Yeah, for capitalization.
So
and
this one-
punctuation.
If I'm
too,
looking at this is really just talking about the individual words, not so
Yeah.
much like
Oh.
a sentence.
So not general punctuation
So not
or.
punctuation.
Oh, good, that makes it a lot
And actually,
easier.
not
Really not
Not
even
even-
spacing.
not even
I mean, I would say if you're saying spacing of the individual letters,
Letters.
yes, I mean, because you don't want like it and it's like I and then T.
Mhm.
That's true.
As far as spacing between words, no, but spacing in letters, I would.
But we do have order, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
I do think spacing's a little important though, cause if we're gonna spell the word correctly, if we don't know where it starts and ends, I mean, we're
Yes,
gonna know
no,
that, but
absolutely.
if we
I'm
don't
agreeing
know,
with you, yeah, I think
if we
that
don't
for
know where
sure.
we're gonna stop and end, then is it spelled correctly?
Yeah.
You know,
Really, yeah.
Yeah, order and spacing, I think, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
Anything else that you had written down?
I looked at the word orthographic and it defines orthographic with the word orthographic. What the,
Oh, no.
you're not
That's
supposed to
helpful.
do that. So what is orthographic?
So I looked it up also,
Okay.
and, it says relating to the conventional spelling system of language.
Okay.
So it's what we're talking about, like that there's patterns, like, I mean, I don't know, yeah, we already talked about the patterns earlier, so yeah. So
Yeah,
I think that's what they would be talking about, it's kind of like conventional, but it's still not a great, really specific definition either. I don't know what y'all's thoughts on that.
What about hearing sounds in words?
Oh,
They
yeah.
have to be able to hear individual sounds in words,
That's
right?
Can do.
Sometimes that is a barrier, like they got everything else, but
That's
you
true.
can't
That
hear.
is true.
Cause some might are even struggling just to get the initial sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Would that be segmented? Or no?
It goes with
It goes
segmenting.
hand in
Yeah.
hand.
So
We have
could
to
you
be
say
able to
hearing sounds, like hearing sounds in words beginning, middle, end, like more specifically?
Yeah, I think for these spelling patterns that they
I
have to
think
know
they would
for
have to
everything,
be-
it's
yeah.
really beginning to end, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else anybody wants to add to that at this time? Okay, so now you're gonna have your teacher exemplar in hand, and I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. I want you to take a look at your teacher exemplar and think about what are the keys to an ideal student sample. Okay? So
With this teeth in mind?
with this speak in mind,
Okay.
yes, specifically about this speak. So can you set a timer for 2 minutes, Ms. Davis? Thank you.
think it's good for me to look and be like, I probably would have picked
Right.
something, or mine would have been something different.
Okay.
See, and I
Based on this,
I
yeah.
had the exact same thought. I was
Yeah.
like, I must have missed something. Because even when I look at my exemplar, I'm like, there's not enough that are gonna have like, I don't have enough words that have patterns. So mine are more of those very, or too many high frequency words
Okay.
or harder words.
Yeah.
Right, it could be more balanced, sorry,
Okay,
yeah.
good. That's really good reduction. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yes. Okay, great. So,
You know what I forgot?
yeah, tell me.
I think I forgot they need to be able to, it sounds very basic, but they need to be able to state it, like say it. Cause that's one of my issues, they say just a
Okay.
lot of one word things.
So say,
And
say it again.
yeah, say a complete sentence or a complete thought, because like a lot of mine have a lot of language issues, and they would just say, like today we were trying to work on narrative, and they just kept saying single words, English or Spanish, and I think just being able to state it and say it, will then later help them understand, cause if you can't say it, how do you know?
So they need to be able to verbalize
Yeah.
their thought or
Mhm.
their complete thought, their word, before they can write it. Yeah.
I was saying that too, because when we were doing our PA lesson today, I made sure to specifically state that, like,
Mhm.
when we are talking, you are saying sentences. We need to remember that the words we're saying are forming sentences. Cause then the same thing, I have a lot of the one word or the deer in the headlights, like, don't know what a sentence is.
So is there anything, looking at your teacher exemplar, that you'd like to add to the chart? Anything that came to mind that you think they should be able to know, or be able to do or know by the end of kindergarten to master this key?
Do we have an restated?
And if not, that's totally fine, maybe you guys already hit all the high points.
Yeah, I think that was a really good point, because I agree, like, when they're just saying like, they can't complete a thought, or they can't put it in words that they can actually write, you know, like, that's when they want me to write for them,
Yes.
you know, and so getting them to be brave enough to try, and is really, I don't know if y'all deal with that, but you know, a lot of
It's a
them
big
want
time
me to do
struggle.
stuff.
So could we even say, like, they need to formulate the thought
I
that
would
they're
say,
going to put on paper?
Right.
they need to be able to
Yeah.
form a thought.
Yeah.
So not only verbalize it, but a step back.
Right, a step back, yeah.
Just form the thought.
Yeah.
Some of mine need to just be still enough to, you know,
Here's the direction.
have yes, hear the directions,
Right.
have a thought take root.
Great. Really, really good insight.
There's a lot of
I'm
noise
thinking
in
of
their
that.
brains.
There is.
Yeah, it's true.
You see a lot of
I
it.
think key is a lot of order. Order because, just getting it out in order, cause like, it's always trying to like, they kind of have like words all over the place, or just, when they're trying to participate, it's just a lot of sprinkle of just single words, and just getting order, so they can go.
I see a lot of that, yeah. The lack of just ability to just focus on that one task at hand. Like, they can't come up with a sentence because they're off in the distance, like thinking of all these other things.
So you can just like focus.
Yeah.
Is a prerequisite. They need to be able to
It
focus.
really,
Yeah.
honestly, it really is,
Yeah.
just being able to focus, like, on one task at hand.
And then, I'm sorry, I didn't back another step, but this doesn't sound really, but look, for example, in Spanish, we say, everything's masculine and feminine, right? So you have to say el or la. So even being able to dominate the language, I mean, able to say el oso, la casa, just being able to use those like, they're not gonna, so just being able to
Right.
talk.
That's great.
So something that I don't think we pointed out was, and if we did, I apologize.
Okay.
But digraphs and, when we mentioned blending, but I think that those are patterns that they're gonna need, by the end of kindergarten, they're gonna need to know those if they're gonna wanna spell ship, you know, like, and things like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's not in the kindergarten teaks.
What the heck?
So, I know.
But I mean, I guess it's confusing because you see that it's CCVC.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
And CVCC.
Right.
Yeah.
Cause I think even.
Blends, but that would be.
Blend, so that's
Yeah.
why, so like on
Yeah.
mine, I put swim.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
not, yeah, so those, they maintain, I literally looked it up, cause I wanted to make
Yes,
sure.
yeah.
But they maintain their sound,
Individual
their
sounds.
individual
Mhm.
sounds, and so that would be an example of one that they could,
Digraphs are not.
yeah, but
I
that
know,
is
it's not
shocking.
shocking, I know.
Like
Okay.
even was AR, is AR a pattern?
AR is a
TH
pattern.
For kindergarten, right?
Really?
Our,
For
our
kindergarten.
control vowel is not in kindergarten.
That's what I figured,
Yes.
because when I read my original sentence, I was like, even thinking about it,
Silent
hard.
E?
No.
Aubrey had a whole week of that last year. She was in.
So I'm gonna pass out some. I have this set of student exemplars. So these were the student samples that we said, yeah, they at least come pretty close to mastering this teak at this time. I have one for each of the kind of core primary teachers. So if you don't get a paper, can you just look on with someone who does have a paper? And what I want you to look for here, and I'm gonna give you 1 minute, is what does the student exemplar offer that we could add to our chart? So does the student exemplar show anything that we still haven't added to our chart, something that they need to know or be able to do to master this teak?
And these are all student exemplars?
These are all student exemplars from our team.
Can I ask you a question? How are they going to, where is it?
Yes.
So they're like,
How did
That is his name.
Oh,
Yeah, so if they have to know spelling patterns, what's your C's, all those things, what you'll be able to do to know the spelling patterns? What does that have to be? Is all that stuff?
It reminds me of the paper.
That's what I was saying, so I thought this was
Like they have to be.
We got a bunch of this last year, remember with the.
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
I love it.
But
So I like
they,
it too.
I
Go
have
along
some,
with
I
it.
have some like this, but not with the space. I like the space, because mine is just all straight
Should
lines.
have some really much like I got the long ones and then
so
like
that calls for.
long with the double T's.
I've looked through all my supplies, I
What
haven't
are
seen
they
anything like that.
doing to know the spelling patterns?
Don't even.
I mean, I'm French, but
We got it for you, but.
you're good on those ones, so.
Yeah, but what are they, so like the strategies that
Okay. Okay, thank you. Can you share? If you want.
now?
In just a minute.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so did anybody notice any new insights about what they need to know or be able to do? Ms. Middleton?
Just the imagery, like the imagination, because most of the time we're asking them to draw something and then write, but like even just being able to imagine something. A lot of my kids are like, I don't know, they can't come up with anything. They can't picture something in their mind and be able to put it to paper. So that imagery, having
Yeah.
that first,
Creating a mental image.
creating a mental image. There we go, yeah.
Exactly.
And knowing that, you know, that your words need to match your picture, because sometimes we have that.
Oh,
They
I
write
have
this
that all the
in, they
time.
tell us what's about, oh, but they're saying it's about a chicken, and there's donuts drawn all over their paper, like, it doesn't make sense.
So I will say there are other teaks that kind of address
Panda?
like so but writing is so interconnected, right? Like they have to kind of have all these skills coming together to make
To be
any
able
one
to-
skill work, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, do you wanna add that like
Do you remember Mrs. Cannon's writing program? And she would start with reading them a book with without showing them the pictures. And she would have them close their eyes while she read. And then she would have them draw the picture of what they saw in that story just by listening to it. And that's creating that mental image. she started with that at the beginning of the year to get them into being able to write.
So now I want you to compare your student exemplar with your teacher exemplar. Is there anything that the student exemplar offers that your teacher exemplar doesn't?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me.
Labeling, they label.
Labeling, okay, okay.
I labeled people, but I did not label like water or, you know, like I didn't label, so, and this student labeled everything, which is precious. But yeah, no, not just the people, but literally TV, popcorn, fire, drinks, like they have this whole movie night and it's like very detailed.
But like detailed labeling is a good like gateway into writing. If they are not able to write complete sentences yet, they can add actually a lot of words through labeling their illustration.
And then we've shown them how they can take the labels and then use, you know, heart words to form sentences. They have all those tools right there on their phone.
Any other insights in comparing?
So there's something, and I actually you're gonna like hearing this. So I actually took this with me from when I was with you the first time when you taught your house
Oh yeah.
of your letter formation. And so I noticed that from our teacher exemplar, we use our house. And then from the student one, they don't so much use the house. It's more of inconsistency throughout it. So I don't know, something I picked up from you, but
Oh, cool. Thank you.
You'll have to tell us more about the house, cause maybe another day.
So now we're gonna look at some student work samples that are unmastered. So this is like when we sorted, this is another thing that we did before the data meeting, we had to sort into high, medium, low. And so this is the low group, the students who have definitely not mastered this TEAC. I'm gonna give you a sample and I want you to take 2 minutes and think about this question. What are the gaps between the unmastered student work samples and the mastered student work samples? Okay. Yes, keep that.
Yeah, everyone have their samples out of those. Start the timer. You're so sweet. Hey, I'm sure they meant something to him. You are.
Okay, good, thank you, Miss Davis, what else?
I would say like, for me in my brain, I'm trying to process what would make this not be close. So like, I see that it's a lot of capitalizational letters. Is it more the formation of the letters? Because to me, the sentence, I like flowers. So what would make this not neat?
So I'll just tell you that set of student work samples, they all had written, I like flowers,
Like they
spelled correctly like that.
So when you're copying, that's like the basic form of writing.
Oh, so we're not even able to copy.
No, it's not that you're not able to copy, but copying does not meet the standard that we're talking about today.
Oh, so all they
Does
did
that
was
make
flowers.
sense?
Okay.
Yes,
So this wasn't an individual
that was not
thought.
correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
There we go.
Yes, so that's the gap. So can you say that again so everybody
Okay.
can
I'm
hear?
sorry.
So I was asking like, what made this not be, correct, because to me, it's like, I like flowers, that to me looks like a good sentence. But she said it's because this was a copying sentence. And so, it's not an individualized thought. They did not come up with the sentence and develop it on their own, correct?
That's correct.
That makes sense.
And they didn't do the work of sounding out the words and knowing how to spell the high frequency words. But
The beginning of like K10D, doesn't it start with adult assistance?
so let's look at That's a good question.
So to me, adult assistance would be more like scaffolding in the moment rather than providing like the actual.
You're not just going to like for
yeah.
them to.
Yes, so it's edit drafts with adult assistance using standard English conventions including.
So
So, yeah, talk about
so editing drafts would be like, you get a sentence and kind of writing process that you go to, okay, let's look, is it capital? Oh, we need spacing, that's a hard word, going through that process with them, with adult assistance. So
Or like
instead of
a
saying like,
guide, kinda like.
yeah, instead of saying like, go edit your work, you know what I mean? So that would be more the adult assistance than,
Right.
yeah, but in this T, it's meant for the children to be able to write with these skills.
Yes.
Like what we do for our students, when they can't write a sentence, they may be able to formulate a sentence, they can't write it, we write it and they copy. So it's like the most basic form of writing.
And I do wanna say there's value in that, for
Definitely.
sure. Especially at the beginning of the year, for pre-K course, there's a lot of value in that because at least they're putting pencil to paper, they're working on letter formation, they're starting to practice spacing and
Directionality, all that.
directionality and all that. So it's not that that is not allowed, we're not saying that at all.
Oh, no.
We use that strategy, but just in the context of this teak specifically, does that make sense? How
Yes.
that's different?
Yes.
What else did you notice? And we can also just talk about like typical errors that you're seeing. Like what are some things that we're kind of seeing in all of these?
Well, mine is like a beautiful sentence, but you have reversals, so you can't really, I mean, I know what it says, but I don't think it's correct because he didn't master it because he didn't use his spacing, he had the reversal, he didn't sound it out correctly. So he knew hot, but he didn't sound is, he didn't know the difference between those two words.
What do you mean reversal, like reversal of the letters?
Reversal of the letters, yeah.
So that's really a skill that needs to be mastered by like end of first grade. I looked at this in first grade. End of first grade. So we're not really concerned about reversal. That would be a reason that it would
Take a look. That's simple. I'm trying to take more stuff.
I remember that. Yeah, I thought it was in the second grade, but I looked at it in first grade.
So that's
Maybe they
why.
changed it.
Because everybody's
Like,
So,
give them a
like,
sentence.
I didn't give them the sentence.
Was this one yours and Simon?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so can you tell us about how you got that student work sample?
I mean, we did like the sentence stems, like it came from Washika.
Okay.
And so they put the sentence together and then they took it all away and then they had to write the sentence themselves.
Oh, but everybody wrote the same sentence,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Cause it was just easier like that than getting out, you know.
Okay, so let's talk about
I've already admitted that I overlooked the teak, okay? So let's just say, like, when we aren't based on a teak, then it's hard to do, but this sentence right here, it sounds like they were actually copied it from, like, looking at it, correct? And then the difference between that sentence is that they were told the sentence, they did look at the sentence, but then it was taken away, so they're having to recall it. So there might be a better teak that fits or something like that potentially. You know, so I think that like when we're looking at, if we look at the mastery ones, they're all unique, they're all different, they're all like, they're utilizing their imagination more, so that, which again are different teaks, you know what I mean? But I think that that's what we're seeing is like more, them having to put more effort into the yes. So I mean, like, I think we could say like as gradual release or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might not fit this teak specifically of what we're looking for, but it might be part of that gradual release of, you know, we're gonna hear you copy a sentence, hear you write it on your own. I will say that having the sentence removed from them, it does sound like they are still having to utilize some of these skills, for sure. My kids, when I have them do something like that all together, the biggest part I have is having them not look at each other's papers or share things, because they're like wanting to do that. But if everybody is sounding out their own things, I do think that it's hitting some of these, you know, for sure. So, but I will say that like as far as mastery goes, that it is like totally their own sentence, which I think it's good. I think this is so helpful to break down teaks, because, you know, sometimes we don't have, there's a better way. It's not that what we're doing is wrong necessarily all the time, but it's that what can we do that is going to highlight and draw out these things the best. And I think that PLC is the place to do that, you know, so.
I think also we need to take into consideration how we're presenting what's needing to be written. So like you said, for some of these, they're copying, well, how are we presenting the work to them? Are we posing a question? Like, how are we giving them the prompt? Because for instance, like mine, I know that student is way behind us that one that you have. But like I posed the question, what did you do for your birthday? And so being able to then come up with their own, like, I went to McDonald's, I went to Urban Air, like them having to formulate those sentences, that would be the independent thought versus this. But then again, my friend just drew a picture and like couldn't even come up with the first letter sound. Like it was very hard to work together. So I know how far behind that is. But I think some of the mix-up too has to do a lot with how are we presenting them to give us this team? What are we giving them so that they can produce the team?
And I will say, like, I wasn't specific when I asked you to bring student work samples. I just said, like, bring a writing sample from each of your kindergartners. So next time I could be more specific. Like, it needs to be, you know, completely independent, or however it's
No, yeah, I think that was an independent question. But I think all of this is good to think about, because, you know, if I'm just thinking of that, I would say, and I would have just seen this, for example, not knowing what where it came from, what was the process to get this sentence, then I wouldn't be able to process it together. How does that teak mean this? Why is it?
Yes.
And two, I think we wanted to see kind of what your writing looks like.
That's kind of why I didn't give specifics about what the writing sample should be, because this conversation is really rich, right? Like, we're talking about different levels of scaffolding for writing, and like what some kids do need and how we can gradually take those scaffolds away. So
In my mind, this demonstrates, it's like the second period of the 3-period lesson. You're giving them the sentence, because, come on, many of our kids, if we sit them down and say, draw a picture, now write something about it, they're like,
right.
you know. So this is scaffolding right here, and it helps them go up to that.
I'm looking at mine and who staff the design, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly right. Like, I might have to go back to that for him to really, like, these aren't even, there's no.
So there's no correspondence.
I can't even tell what the picture is, y'all. And that's
Looks like
really
a ship to me when I see the sentence.
yeah, because you went, oh, there's blue, that's water, I guess this is a ship that's sitting on top of it, yeah, anyway. But yeah, no, I think scaffold, being able to go either way on it is super helpful.
And now it's like trying to figure out where to start, because I have so many of my kinders, again, that don't even have the mastery of the initial sound, that like, they're not even, their brain is so far from being able to master what the teaks are that they're needing to work on, that they're not even able to formulate, like I said, the thought. They have no thought. They have no picture.
So something we've done to kind of address that is we use those Frog Street picture cards. One way to kind of pull them in. If you bring them out, read on the back, there's questions, there's vocab, there's lots of things
We need to probably sit and find this.
Okay.
We'll find them.
to be able to use, or you can pull the picture cards from the Washika, like the red, pull out the picture card of like the red sentence pouch or whatever. Instead of providing the words, you show them the picture. That's they can easily formulate the sentence. And that's kind of what I tell them to do when they do that work. It's like, look at the picture and think about what sentence you could make. And then we pull out the words, and sometimes the words match, similar, and sometimes they're not. So, that can be helpful too, for since they can't make those mental pictures yet, providing the picture, they can write about what they're seeing. And then you kind of remove that,
So I'm kind of hearing you guys say that the key area that we need to focus on for reteach is being able to formulate an idea and put it into words. Like even stack that part. That's not
No.
even where I thought we were gonna go, but is
No,
that?
it really is,
Okay.
because like, for my friends, you really see the fact that so many kids are not even being talked to. Like, cause they don't know how to verbally respond back and forth. Conversation, like, they cannot hold conversation. And so like, they can't get anywhere near this if they can't even talk and discuss.
I have one
Like if they
today.
should talk about what their favorite color is and what an item is, then that's a full sentence, and then they can write it.
So
But
could
they
we say
can't
that
think about that.
between like now and when our next writing sample is turned in, our key area to reteach and focus on is formulating an idea and putting it into words. So even if that means for our kids who don't have the sound spelling correspondence, there's no way they're gonna be able to write the words, that they're dictating to you so that you can write it for them. But
And
that
then-
they have an idea, they can put it into words.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that our focus?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I did
Developing talkers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know
Thank
someone
you.
today, I did the red ripe strawberry, the little mouse, yada yada this week. Today was the third reading, and someone today used the word, what was it?
Disguise?
Disguise. Another one used the word half. Girl, we're coloring in those acorns like a little traditional class. Like a little traditional class. Another word is horns, when every time you use all these vocabulary words, I'm so proud of you. And they were just like, how are they coloring an acorn? So anyway, it works.
Yeah.
It really does.
It really does.
And they're random vocabulary words, but they're making a believer out of me. I don't know. I know it's a little scary to admit that, but like all that random vocabulary, the pre-K, all those pre-K vocabulary words, it's like,
Thank you guys so much for engaging in this conversation. So next time, thanks for helping me be
Yeah,
a
cause
better
I was like, hang
leader
on,
of
they
DDI.
can just copy
Yeah,
this
but next time when, like before, when I send out that email, like, hey, make sure you have your writing samples turned in, I'll give you the teak that we're gonna focus on in the DDI, and I'll tell you exactly how to set up the writing sample. Like, this should be completely independent, or you should give a prompt, and the prompt will be whatever. Maybe we could all use the same prompt.
That's what
So
I'm
that,
thinking.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, okay, good.
That way we
Okay.
can really see, like,
We can compare apples to apples.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
fine.
Thank
Do
you.
you want these writing samples back or?
yeah, I'll take them back, yeah.
With objects?